Hey everyone, it's Kino here. Thanks for tuning in to this 1-month beginner yoga challenge. We're on day 20. Congratulations for making it this far. Today we're delving into Marichasana a deep hip flexion that will move you into the inner body. Move your hands together and inhale. Calm the mind. Tune in to the inner body. Tune in to the emptiness behind the pubic bone. Tune in to the inner space. And allow yourself to arrive into a moment of peace, a moment of equanimity, a moment of perfect calm. Choosing peace, choosing equanimity, choosing kindness in this moment. Starting off with your body, starting off with the mind, and ultimately growing your heart big enough to embrace your whole world. Gently opening the eyes, sliding over onto your hands and knees. Hands are stacked shoulder width apart. Take a moment and press into the heels of the hands, root down into the knuckles and grip with your fingertips. Then roll the shoulders into protraction, almost like you're rounding the upper back. We'll start off with the hands and knees plank just to warm the body up a little bit. Hold this for 5 breaths. 1, calm, steady mind. 2, keep the belly sucked deeper in. 3, knit the lower ribs into the center line. 4, and 5. Exhale, dip the shoulders down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, dip the shoulders down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, dip the shoulders down. Inhale, take it up. One more, dip down and take it up. Bring your knees together and let's push back to child's pose for a couple breaths. Here in child's pose, you're bringing the thighs in close to the body. A very easy way to move into a hip flexion, so that the thighs move closer to the body, the torso melts into the thighs. Keep your mind entering the inner body. Feel the emptiness behind the pubic bone, and then inhale. Come all the way back up onto your hands and knees. And again, hands and knees plank for a couple moments. Draw the belly deeper in, and we'll hold that for a couple breaths. 2. Keep the mind nice and steady. 3. 4, big push up with the shoulders. And now, inhale, draw the right knee into your chest and let's hold it for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and send the right leg back. Again, let's hold it for 5. 1, just easy, warming the body up. 2, 3, 4, sink that right leg down. Okay, left side, big push up with the shoulders. Inhale, left knee into your chest. 1, nice and steady. 2, keep the belly inside. 3, 4, and all the way back. 1, keep the shoulders strong. 2, 3, 4, grip a little with your fingertips, widen the shoulder girdle. 4, and 5, sink that left knee down and let's walk it forward to the puppy pose. Hands forward and exhale, drop your forehead towards the ground. 1, 2, releasing the armpits, drawing the elbows towards each other, sending the hips back and up. 3, 4, and 5. Lift your head, walk your hands back, curl the toes under, and inhale, downward facing dog. Keep the belly drawn deeply in. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1, really take a moment and just tune in to the legs. Feel their power, feel their grounding, the connection of the emptiness of the pelvis down through the thighs into the earth underneath you. 2, let every breath just pour stress and tension away from you, opening the heart center. 3, 4, and 5. Switch your gaze forward. Let's come on forward to plank, holding plank for 5 breaths. 1, and remember, if plank's still too intense for you, you can always send the knees to the ground and just repeat that hands and knees plank. 3, 4, exhale, dip down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up. 2 more. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up. And exhale all the way to Chaturanga Dandasana or Chaturanga on the floor. And then inhale, come forward to upward facing. Really lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing. Calm, deep breath. Feet stacked shoulder width apart. Hands Feet stacked hips width apart, hands shoulder width apart. Draw the belly deeper and deeper in. Use the breath to feel the inner body. 3, 4, and let's twist out the dog, bend the right knee, twist it over to the left, and just hold that for a few moments. Really suck the belly in, spiraling through the inner body back to the center. Drop that left knee forward, spiral it in, keep the belly sucked all the way in and back to the center. Stack it up to the downward facing dog again. Switching your gaze forward. Inhale, let's step that right foot forward, settling the left heel down. Pause for a moment. Settling that left heel down, pause for a moment as you draw the belly in and come up onto the fingertips. Then send the right knee over the ankle, hold it there for a moment, and inhale, lift the torso up, aligning your hips forward, holding onto the waist for a moment and just feel the groundedness in the hips, groundedness in the legs, hands in prayer. Inhale, rise the arms up to warrior 1, 5 breaths. 1, 2, nice and steady. 3, gazing right up at the thumbs. Draw the belly deeper and deeper inside. 4 and 5, hands in prayer. Curl the right forearm in, dropping it onto the thigh. Left shoulder spirals forward and gaze up at the left fingertips, and we'll hold that for 5 breaths. 1, grip the ground with your feet. Remember, this is Parsvakonasana. You're familiar with this pose from earlier in the challenge. 3, and if you want to take it a little deeper, remember, dangle your fingers to the ground and eventually flattening it down. 4, nice and steady. And 5, spiral that left hand down, come up onto your fingertips for a moment if you need to, then settle back down. Spin the left foot forward, drop the shoulders forward, hold plank for a moment, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale, push back to downward facing. Hold it here for a moment. If you need a rest, drop your knees down and come on to child's pose as you maintain that sense of emptiness deep in the inner body. Now, find that sense of equanimity, find that sense of deep peace. If you're in child's pose, come on back up to downward facing, sucking the belly in, and let's prepare for the left side. Turn the right foot out, and then inhale, left foot forward, come up onto the fingertips, settle the legs into the ground, pressing into the heels. Inhale, lift the torso up, taking the hands to the waist, draw the belly in and root down through the right leg, hands in prayer. Then inhale all the way up to warrior 1, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hands back to prayer. Draw the belly in, loop that left forearm down, and then spiral the right shoulder around, gazing up towards the right fingers. And if you want to slide it down, you can rest on the fingertips or possibly all the way down onto the hand. And we'll just hold that for a couple breaths. 2, think about your torso sliding around the outer band of your thigh. 3, melting in through the inner body. 4, and 5, drop the right hand down, press the shoulders forward, spin forward on the ball of the right foot, and then step back the left, hold it there in plank for a moment. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Rest and stabilize, downward facing for a moment. We're almost ready to try Marichasana A. We just need one more little movement. Inhale, walk your feet all the way forward, coming to the front of the mat, and then exhale, fold the chest down over the thighs. Inhale, come on up, pausing for a moment in Samasthitihi. Draw the belly deeper in. We'll review the balancing pose, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, just the real simple, easy version of the pose. Draw the belly deeply in, lift the kneecaps all the way into the pelvic bowl. Transfer your weight over onto the left side, hands right on the waist. Inhale as you draw the right knee deeper into hip flexion, holding onto the knee. We'll stay here for 5 breaths, keeping the belly sucked in. 1. Holding that knee into the chest, keeping the belly sucked in. 2. 3, don't worry about whether you straighten the leg. We're just doing this today to maintain balance and get a deeper hip flexion. So focus on bringing your knee as close to your chest as you can, maintaining the center line. 4. And 5, gently move the leg out to the side. Remember that external rotation of the hip joint. 2, 3, 4, and back to the center, pulling the knee in. Hands to your waist, and remember this one. 1, 2. Remember, use your abs. It doesn't matter how high the leg is, just keep it up. 4 and 5. Touch the foot down, back to the center line. Okay, let's do the other side. Belly is in. Inhale, pull it in. Wrap your hand around the left knee and then hug that left thigh and in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop it out to the side. Sitting bones spiral towards each other as the left hip externally rotates. 3, 4. Doing good. 5. Back to the center. Maintain your balance. Hand to the waist. If you wobble and fall, no problem. Draw the belly in. Straighten the leg. 1. However high it goes, no problem. Just pull that left hip back. 2, 3. Straighten your standing leg. 4 and 5. All the way down. Back to the center. Close your eyes. Come on back to the center. Reclaim the equanimous mind. Find an equal point of balance. Calming the mind. Inhale, raise the hands up, pressing the palms together, and exhale, suck the belly in, fold forward through the hips, all the way down. Inhale, send the chest forward, and exhale, come on back to the plank pose. From plank, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Pause in downward facing for a moment, calm the mind, tune into the inner body. And then switch the gaze forward. Walk your hands just a little bit back to make sure that your shoulder girdle is nice and stable. Then remember the vinyasa. Bring your shoulders forward, draw the belly in, glide the right, then the left forward. And you can choose to either sit down here or if it's accessible to you, glide that right foot and the left foot all the way through, coming to seated. Gliding the hands next to the hips, gently root down through the heels of the hands as you draw the belly in, lifting the sternum up towards the chin, gazing at the nose tip. 1, 2, keep the belly sucked in. 3, really pivot your pelvis just a tad forward so you roll to the very front of your sitting bones. And 5. Now we're ready to begin our journey into Marichasana A. Bend the right knee into the body and slide it all the way in. Leave a hand's distance between your right foot and your left thigh. It's very common to have the foot too far or the foot too close. So you want that hand's distance. Your right heel should hug the hip joint, just the outer edge of the hip joint, not your hips width, but just the joint, so like in the middle of the thigh. Then suck the belly in and lift the torso up. Move the torso slightly away from the thigh. Reach forward with your right shoulder, and you'll notice there's a tendency for the right knee to drop out. Instead, pull it in. Hug the shin bone into the armpit, snuggle it in there. Then roll the right shoulder forward and around, and reach your hands towards each other around the back. You can aim your fingertips. If your fingers don't reach, grab a towel and just toss it over and you can hold on to that. If you get your fingertips, one day the wrist, but really no stress. Then inhale, draw the belly in, and then exhale, lift the right sitting bone ever so slightly off the ground while keeping a sense of grounding in the pelvis. And we'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1, draw the belly deeper and deeper in. 2, you could drop the head under and aim your forehead down to the shin, or if you like, you can reach the nose to the shin and eventually the chin to the shin, but there's no gold here once you get there, so just take it nice and easy, creating a deeper hip flexion on the right side. 4, gazing at the nose tip may help you relax the neck. Eventually you could gaze forward to the toes, but again, no stress. And 5, inhale, lift the chest up, settle the sitting bone back down, release the hands and come on back to the center, gliding all the way out. Hold the knee for a moment, stretch that leg all the way out, feel the pelvis, and then cross the feet. As the feet are crossed, we're gonna go all the way back to plank pose, okay? So remember the easy version, you can curl the toes right under and just step the hands forward, but if you want to, you can lift the hips up. So moving the shoulders forward, step, step, all the way back to plank. Hold plank for a moment and exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. From downward facing, remember, stabilize the shoulder girdle, then slide, and you can sit down, or if you have it in you, step, step, all the way through, exhale down. Take just one moment in Dandasana to reclaim the equanimous mind. Remember, the vinyasas are never perfect. They're always a work in progress. So just try your best and then let it go. Holding underneath the left knee, glide it in, all the way in. leaving that hand's distance between the foot and the thigh. Then gently lift the torso up out of the pelvic bowl, stabilize your right leg, ground the right heel, and then move your torso a little over to the side. Send that left arm forward, reach, 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 then bring the knee close to the body, nestle the shin bone into the left armpit as you bring the left shoulder forward, then reach the right elbow up, hands reach together, interlocking the fingers, eventually holding the wrist, or grab a towel and shoot those 2 points together. Then inhale, belly draws in, and exhale, slowly, slowly move forward while at the same time moving into the emptiness behind the pubic bone. Keep the belly drawn in. You can gaze at the nose. Maybe possible to take the forehead down to the knee, maybe possible nose to the knee, maybe possible chin to the shin. But don't lean over to the side. Instead, really keep yourself grounded and oriented towards the center line. Draw the belly in. Even though the left sitting bone is off the ground, it stays grounded. 4 and 5. Inhale, lift the chest up, settling the sitting bone all the way down. Release your grip, glide your shoulder all the way around, and then cross the feet. Hands come forward of the pelvis, and then inhale, lift the hips up, step, 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 all the way back to plank. Take a moment, hands shoulder width apart, hold the plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come forward to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Rest in downward facing for a moment. Nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. Switching the gaze forward, moving the shoulders forward, inhale, right, left. And if you want to sit down, you can sit it down or keep it up and slide, slide all the way through, coming straight back to Dandasana for a moment. Keep the belly drawn deeper in. Hold and equalize the mind for a moment. Then bend the right knee into your chest for a little bit of a preview, all the way in. Instead of Marichasana A folding forward, we're going to twist to the side, moving into Marichasana C as a little bit of a preview. Once you get that hip flexion established, then you can spiral your torso around the thigh. So grab hold of the low belly, remember the emptiness in the pelvic bowl, and slide that over to the side, hugging the knee, using your right hand as support. Then reach the left arm all the way over, placing your fingertips on the ground. Look over to the right. We'll stay here for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and suck the belly in all the way back to the center. Hug the knee in to really accentuate the hip flexion, and exhale back to Dandasana. I think that we should do another step forward and step back. So here we go. Cross your feet, hands forward of the hips. Remember, you can slide it under if you're feeling fatigued. Inhale, lift the hips, step, 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 all the way back to plank, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Then again, looking forward, step, step, step. You can choose to sit or pick the hips up, glide, glide. Exhale down. Pause in Dandasana for a moment, collect the mind, draw the belly in. And then inhale, pull that left knee into the chest, giving yourself a little hug. Really use that hip flexion, start to suck the belly in, find the space between the sitting bones, lift up the pelvic floor, lift the torso up and up and up, then reach the left hand back, slide yourself all the way around and reach forward, coming up onto your right fingertips, look over to the left. 1, don't push with the arms, but maintain the space through that deep left hip flexion. 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Inhale, slide it back to the center, hugging the knee. Then stretch it all the way back to Dandasana for a moment, pulling the hip joints in, making space in the emptiness of the pelvis. Doing good. Okay, one more time. Let's cross the feet. Inhale, hips up, step, 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 step. Let's come on back to plank. Hold the plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Now let's look forward from downward facing. This is the last one. Shoulders forward, step, step, step. Settle the hips. And if you want to, remember, slide, slide. Exhale down. And settle the hips down. Rest for a moment and slowly, slowly curl the spine under as you lie down. We're almost done, but we're not totally done. And after you lie all the way down, then slowly glide the left foot up, stacking the heel down on the outer edges of the hip. Glide the right foot up, stacking it on the outer edges of the hips, and then just rest your fingers right on the heels. If you want to grab the ankles, you can, but no stress. Then just send the knees forward and inhale, send the hips up, hold it there. Be sure to soften the glutes and really work the quads, just sending the hips up and forward. Glide your hands under and just easy lift the hips, and we'll hold it there for a couple breaths. Really rest your sacrum in the palms. 2, 3, keeping the belly sucked in, calm the mind. 4, and slowly settle the hips back down. Close your eyes for a moment, tune in to the inner body, and let's do that one more time. Roll the knees towards each other, and inhale, lift the hips up and forward. This time, interlock your fingers, roll the hands towards each other, elbows towards each other, and hips up. Sternum reaches forward towards your chin. 1, steady breathing. 2, maintain the emptiness in the pelvis. 3, and 5. Exhale, settle the hips down. Then rolling through to the back, draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze as you enter the inner body and just roll side to side. Give yourself some nice little rocks, side to side. Be very kind to the body, kind to the spine. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Then gently bend the knees and stretching the legs out. Close your eyes. Come to a moment of rest. You may notice that there are some subtle vibrations that move through the body like a wave. You may notice some tenderness in the heart center. You may notice stillness in the mind. Fill yourself up with that sense of stillness and a deep sense of peace. And then one deep inhale. As you exhale, move the fingers and toes. Give yourself some little circles through the feet, through the hands. Little point and flex. And then bend the knees. Drop them in towards each other. Bend your elbows. Drop them in. Knees to the chest. Roll over onto the side. And come on back up to a comfortable seated position. Be very patient with yourself whenever working with the hips. Never force the hips, otherwise tension from the hips can redistribute to the knees. Instead, be very patient and kind with yourself. Surrender to the long journey and just let your whole body change, one breath, one practice at a time. Bring your hands together, giving thanks to the lineage of yoga for this sacred space of the practice. Thank you so much for joining me on this month of practice. Tune in tomorrow to continue your beginner yoga challenge. Namaste.